This is a project that I lived and breathed for 3 years, from like sketches at this table to final finishes on site, like, and everything in between. So this project, we started demolition in 2021. Building in Banff offers some interesting complexities, being that it's also this national park. Demolition for the project, breaking these buildings apart.
Action.
Back into the elements that they're made from. You know, we had to sort each element out at a time. So this here is the Heinz cabin. It was a home for someone for a lot of years. This is us rebuilding the foundation of it, like the base frame. So James, our site foreman, donated an old snowboard to turn it into a big toboggan so we could slide it across the site to where I use it as a site office. These are my signs. You know, I really wanted our carpenters and craftsmen to get the gravity of what we're doing in Banff. You know, we're not building units for people, we're building homes. And just feel proud of what they're doing and knowing that they're contributing to something important. One thing that we discovered in this project is that our groundwater was contaminated with ground minerals. We worked with our shoring contractor, pumped the water out, and then that was the platform that we could build our foundation on. We had our foundation contractors come in who just were dedicated. They worked, you know, morning to night, trying to get as much done before the snow flew. Building foundations in the winter is honestly just like a miserable job. You know, it's cold, you're in the ground, dealing with snow, getting ready for a pour, you know, tarping, untarping, tarping, untarping. That's also really hard work. 2 weeks before our framing contractor was scheduled to start framing our project, he called me and said, "Hey, Matt, sorry, I can't frame your project." Every framing contractor in Calgary in the Bow Valley was booked because, you know, business is booming. You know, we made the decision to self-perform and frame ourselves. You know, we were blessed and had a really talented construction manager working with us who had a previous career as a master framer. We had carpenters from the UK.
Easy as that.
Ireland, Australia, like all coming to work at the Aster.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
A big day on site for us was like the day we lifted the Heinz cabin. The cabin was like my office, my home away from home for 2 years. It started off on Banff Ave, and then we like craned it onto the top of the building. Not having access to trades during construction made me understand the importance of trades. You need the guys to do the work to make the building actually happen. We took on 8 apprentices to start their career in construction, all local residents of the Bow Valley. And in a way, I kind of think that's part of the legacy of this building. You know, it's not just the 33 homes that we created, training a new generation of carpenters who are going to live in the Bow Valley and contribute to housing for the rest of their careers. Another major challenge that we faced was the rising cost of materials. When we bid on this project to when the project ended, the cost of construction rose 64%. Our strategy for navigating the rising cost of materials and like how valuable materials became on this project was putting emphasis on craftsmanship with our carpenters, where they're measuring twice. And through that process, really seeing and understanding the value of a talented carpenter on a project. So it's about 3/4 of the way through framing where you could feel like the mood of the project shift, where it felt like nothing was happening, to all of a sudden getting this momentum. And we had this amazing team of carpenters from all over the world contributing to this project. This is an experience that's like uniquely Canadian, and I think something that a story they're going to tell their grandkids. Having that experience of framing on top of a building, on top of a mountain, in the middle of a Canadian winter, in -20. So that's the story of a legend, you know? The day the crane for the framing packed up was a beautiful day on site. Completing a major milestone, the framing, something that we weren't planning on having to do, but did, and did very well, I think. think the siding on our project is exceptional. You know, it's like one of my favorite things. I think the exterior of this building is an example of craftsmanship at the scale of a building. The beams of the overhangs align perfectly with the battens that align with the windows. Like it's an important moment. I think Hayden was really clever in the way that he used just a typical roofing material as a means of cladding the interior of the welcome walkway. Any builder would say the most exciting part of the project is when everything is wrapping up. You got your checklist and there's an excitement and everyone can see that vision coming together. And you know, it comes with like long nights and hard work. I was fortunate to have like one of my lifelong friends who's a landscaper come out and do our landscaping for us. And you know, we worked evenings and weekends, and you know, we created, I think, like some really beautiful moments. One of which is the courtyard. I just love the feeling inside that courtyard. You know, I would spend so much time in here. And an element I'm particularly proud of is the bulbous mounds, where we made them like really bulbous. Like I wanted to create a recliner. September 29th. It was the last day, you know, we had like care and control of that site. Like it was still ours. So I planned a sleepover with my business partners. I tell the guys, all right, you guys can't come into the job site without me. I'm gonna meet you on the other side of the road. And then we'll walk in together. As I'm like finishing everything up, like making sure that the experience that my business partners have when they walk in is reflective of and maybe beyond what they imagined. And I run across the street to like greet them, and I turn back, and then there's this incredible rainbow cast over top of our building. It's a day I'll never forget.
Chocolate! Chocolate!